Hello guys, so I'm back. Alright, sorry for the break in transmission. Just some technical difficulties, but I'm not one to give up. I must complete what I set out to do, and I believe, or I think everyone should have that trait to. Alright, never give up in whatever it is you want to do. Try and put in the efforts. At least you tried. It's better than saying you tried and you never did anything at all. Okay, so I had to figure a way out because technical issues that are not my fault, you understand? So I just have to sort it out, and I'm back here. All right, so we must finish this. We set out to talk about futures trading today, and we were almost halfway, so we're getting there, and then we'll soon be done. And I'll go on LBank and show you, navigate LBank for you, and show you how to place trades and all that. So let's begin. Where were we? Maybe I should just take it a step backward. Just a minute. All right. The last thing we did was talking about basically creating your accounts and doing your KYC, 2FA and all that. I said I was going to do a short video on that to show you guys how to go about that. So let's just move on to the next thing. All right. So when we talked about the margin architecture, I told you that was where we stopped actually. I told you about isolated margin and cross margin and what isolated margin entails and what cross margin entails. Isolated margin basically allocates a fixed a fixed predetermined amount of capital to a specific trade. That's what isolated margin does. You understand? So if you have if when I told you when you want to get an account, once you send the money to your LBank LBank account, that's the wallet they provide for you. Once you say it goes to your sport wallet, it goes to your sport account, it goes to your sport balance. Okay, so you have to now move it freely. Basically, everything that is done here is free. You now have to move it to your futures wallet. So once you move it to your futures wallet, so the money that is in your futures wallet will now be for your futures trading. That's what you're going to be using for your futures trading all through. So the one that is left to your spot is yours. Is yours. Nothing happens. Whatever happens in your futures trade doesn't affect what happens in your spot wallet. You understand? So now inside the futures trading, like I said, there's what we call the isolated margin and cross margin. The isolated is when you're given a particular you use a particular amount for a particular trade. So that particular amount is, for instance, is $10 you want to use for a particular trade. That's to margin make sure that whatever happens, whether you get a profit or you run at a loss, it is just that $10 that will be affected. So if it's a profit, and you use a proper leverage, then you can get times whatever it is you want. So same with the loss. So it works out both ways. So allocates a fixed predetermined amount of capital to a specific trade. A locked safe. If the trade fails, only the contents of that safe are at risk. Do you understand? It's a locked safe. If the trade fails, only the contents of that safe are at risk. The rest of your funds are untouched. And what is isolated margin best for? Best for precision. It's best for precision, bounded risks, and testing new strategies with professional standard. Do you understand? So I advise every newbie out there to always start with isolated. So you understand cross margin, of which I'm going to talk about that. So do you understand cross margin before you start using the cross margin? For instance, me, I can use the cross margin, and I'll show you how I use cross margin. I told you that the strategy I mostly use to trade is SMC, smart money concept, and my risk management method is using position sizing to do a few things. So we'll get to that step by step. We're going to get to that. It's a step-by-step thing. So once we get to that, I'll explain that to you. So now let's go to cross margin. You can see from this diagram here, see what we have here. We have a few boxes here of a few blocks of maybe your your assets. So now this is what's in your futures wallet. Now this holds in. So we now took one block and put it in this locked safe. So it is now locked for that trade. So once it's locked, whatever loss you run at is only this block is going to affect. It's just this block it's going to affect. Okay, only this block. It wouldn't affect the whole this thing. So that is what the diagram illustrates basically. So up next we're going to be talking about cross margin, and the cross margin, like it's written here, it utilizes the entire available balance in your futures wallet to support any and all open positions. Okay, it utilizes the entire available balance in your futures wallet to support any and all positions. For instance, your futures wallet, you ape in on a trade, you get in on a trade on maybe you get in on a BC trade, you go long on a BTC trade, then on another trade at the same time. That's after you've already set that one up. You go on an Ethereum trade, maybe you go short for that one. Maybe you go on Solana, you go either long or short. All right. So now in a cross margin, your whole futures wallet is affected. It's being used to run those trades. You understand? Unlike the isolated, that is specific amount that you decided to use is what's going to be locked out and used for that particular trade. For cross, the whole futures wallet is going to be affected. Do you understand? And this is where stop loss comes. That's why stop loss is very, very important. Okay. So it utilizes the entire available balance in your futures wallet to support any and all open positions. So any opposing position, your BTC position, your Solana position, and your Ethereum position, any position that is there, once you once you're using a cross margin, it uses the available balance. So it has access to your wallet. So an open vault is an okay, you can see now it's an open vault. An open vault, it provides a wider buffer against liquidation for any single position. Yeah, that's the advantage. Basically, it provided a wider buffer. Okay, because now if you're using an isolated, the buffer against liquidation is very, going to be very, very tiny. It's going to be very, very tiny. So, but uh, with your cross margin, the buffer becomes wider. So it provides a wider buffer against liquidation for any single position, but one catastrophic event can drain the entire account. So that is why it's very risky and you should be careful. It's only if you know what you're doing and you've done your calculations, right? But it's not not to make it so it's not an issue. If you have a proper risk management strategy, it will work. You can use your cross margin very easily and very, very well. You wouldn't have any issues with it. But like I said, for beginners, for people that are just starting out, your isolated margin should be the one you should start with. Then while you start learning how to use cross margin. Okay. So it's best for advanced hedging strategies. You understand? It's best for advanced hedging strategies or managing multiple correlated positions. You understand? High risk. So for unbounded risks, do you understand? For practitioners seeking precision and bounded risks, do you understand? For practitioners seeking precision and bounded risks, isolated margin. Hello guys. Having a little technical issue. Let me just check whether this is still connected. Just a moment.